guys? Welcome back to Everyday Struggle, Nadeska, Akademiks, and Wayno here. Very, very, very special guest this morning. We got the legend Gucci Mane in the building. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Wow.
What's happening?
Oh man, listen, I had to make sure that you weren't banned from here, bro. I had to make sure you were good.
Man, I appreciate not being banned.
I seen that online recently, man. Were you really like actually banned?
I don't
from an outlet?
I don't think I was actually banned. I think they never used the word banned. I think they just declined the interview. Every time I would drop an album, they would say, we declined to interview, we declined the request or whatever. However the label would reach out, they would always decline it. So after it happened so many times that I was like, am I banned from up there? And it was like, basically, every time we say, hey, Gucci want to come up here, it's an album coming out, they always decline. It's because they say they don't feel comfortable, they don't trust me. Well, that's what she said.
Have you had a personal conversation since?
Man, she just a hater, man. That shit ain't no big deal. It's just blown out of proportion. Like, I'm a happily married man. It wasn't even that big of a deal. I didn't even know I was. They was declining the interview till they brought it to my attention. Like, you can't go to the Breakfast Club, and that's why I posted it. Like, is this the reason why I can't go to the Breakfast Club? Because I felt like people was having a private conversation about me. They need to be public.
Yeah.
Don't ban me from nobody. What this is, segregation? What y'all gonna tell me what water fountain to go to? She ain't the program director at the radio station. Can't nobody stop me from going nowhere.
I'm glad you at least brought it to light, because like everybody else, we had zero idea. And hopefully you guys find some type of.
Now I'm gonna be on the Breakfast Club. I'm going. I'm going in this right here. I think.
Go out, man. Come on now.
It didn't stop, man. That's just, she was embarrassed. Don't nobody want to be embarrassed. Nobody want to be humiliated. So I understand.
While we were getting some stats on you and your career, I was like, my producer Roger said, this is your 101 project. Does it feel like that?
You're since 2005, right?
That's insane.
That's nuts.
I didn't know, to be honest. I didn't know till I dropped Illusions of Grandeur. I seen Hip Hop by Numbers website said, this is Gucci's 100 project since 2005. And I was like, I hit the team like, hey, listen, why we ain't publicizing this at Atlantic? I'm like, did y'all know that I had 100 albums? We should have made this part of the run, letting people know about this. And it was like, we didn't know.
Wow, that's crazy. When I think of like all the projects that you put out, I got some personal ones that mean something to me. I always want to know like what means the most, what eras, because that's a 12, how many years? 15 year run?
14-year run.
14-year run?
I think my favorite album, a mixtape, probably Chicken Talk.
Chicken Talk?
Just because I had left, it was like I was with Big Cat, that was my partnership. And then I had went to jail, I got out. As soon as I got out, we like parted ways, and they still dropped this album, Hard to Kill. So I didn't even, I never recorded with them from the day I got out.
Yeah.
And then I just went to like, in the trap, like back to the streets, like damn the rap game. And then it's like I made that CD Chicken Talk while I was trapping. It was like my really first super independent CD, but I had already dropped Trap House. So to me, it was like I quit the rap game, went to the streets, and made a mixtape in the middle, and it was Chicken Talk. And then I came back, went back to the Trap House, and got back in the rap game.
Could you name every single project you've dropped since 2005 if we gave you pen and paper to make a list?
No.
I was like, yo, imagine if you just had to perform random songs off your projects and you're on stage and they just dropped random songs to your project. Like, do you even remember the lyrics?
Sometimes I've been in the club, especially when I do like an after party, they'll play songs that's like popular in that region.
Yeah.
And I don't really understand, like I remember the song, and everybody like,
How you finessing them?
Bro, I just had to rock with it. I remember some of it, and I'm like, damn, that shit hard as hell, but I don't even remember it. Cause I was freestyling, I was high at the time. Like, just don't remember the words.
You know what's funny? And like, we talk about like a bunch of artists, on the show, and we always talk about like how frequent they drop.
Yeah.
I think you've always had your pace. Your pace has been your pace since day one. And like, even with your last project though, like there was a couple of joints on there that I really liked. I was like, yo, I hope he pushes this for a while. Do you ever feel like you don't really get to push a project enough because you're on to the next too quick?
Me as a fan, it's easy for me to rap and record, so I like to make the music and share the music. As a fan of music, I wish that the artists that I like would, drop more albums. I won't be like, damn, such and such who I like just dropped another album. If it's somebody who I like, I'd be like, damn, they just dropped another tape. Then they just dropped another tape. They in their bag, and then I listen to the songs I like. So to me, it's not disappointing. How can you disappoint me by sharing music with me if I'm a fan of yours?
So Woptober 2 will be your second album of the year.
Yes.
So are you in 2018 already making that plan, or is it once you're in the year, you just feel like dropping more music, you'll decide to put out a second album?
It's not really, when I drop my albums, it's almost like when I get a collection of songs that I feel I'm confident and I want to share them with people. Once I got them, I'm feeling like, man, I just made 13 songs, or man, I just made 16 songs, or this shit dope as hell. I've been working with this producer. It's like I'm eager to share it. You know, it's like I want to show it off. I don't want to hold it on my computer. It ain't helping nobody on the computer. If I put it out there, it's like, even if they say, hey, man, we want Gucci to go harder, that'll keep me going. It keep me, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to just be an artist that can't, like most artists take them 2 years to make an album. I make an album one day.
And of course, you always gotta drop something around 10/17.
Yes.
What does 10/17 mean to you now? And like, how do you even celebrate it?
Well, today is my 2-year wedding anniversary with me and my wife.
Well,
So
congratulations.
that's, thank
Congratulations.
you. 10/17 is super special to me because it's my granddad's house in Alabama. And with my dad dying and my mom dying this year, it just always keeps me just being humble, being grounded. Never act like you don't forget where you came from or you bigger than somebody. Because it's always somebody who, I always say 10/17 because it reminds me just to go to work every day. Don't take nothing for granted because I got people back home, they still go to work every day. I got people back home, they in the Army, a lot of my folks. And it's just like, I want to stay connected with them. I want to let them know though, hey, even when I'm doing what I'm doing, I'm traveling the world, just like y'all going to work every day, that's the same motto I got.
Oh, that's hard. That's hard.
That's kind of deep. I mean, it's a humbling element of that.
Yeah.
I respect it.
I always want to know how you make a lot of your open liners, right? Like the first line to the song. Because one of my favorite ones is, all Nas need is one mic, all I need is one stove.
That's hard. That's a bar.
Yeah, so I always want to know, like, how do you always, like, how's the process of you saying, like, all right, I got to say some shit that's going to hit him immediately?
It's almost like when you're recording, to start the whole process of the song, I got to hear a beat that kind of like, I gotta feel it, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you hearing beats, you keep going through the track, man, I don't like that, don't like that, don't like that. Then you hear a beat, it's like, damn, that kind of do something to my mind, it kind of get me to like thinking. And it's like the first thing that comes to my mind is what makes me stop and choose the beat, that first opening bar, like what can I like say dramatically that draw everybody in? And after that, now I want to record the song, and then it's like off to the races. Next thing you know, you got a whole song, because it all starts from that first line. So it got to be something with the beat, some kind of connection. And like you said, that's the whole song. Once you say that one line, because it's freestyle, then you kind of like piecing it from there, like Legos to the end of the song. So you find something that's like, you hear the beat, like we hear today, and somebody be like, man, I'm the freshest ever. Then you just say that on the mic because you feeling like that, and then you just start putting that with other stuff.
Gucci, I'm every time I see you doing great things, especially now, I'm so impressed. I think the whole culture feels so proud about you and your transformation and really just your growth over the years. Really, I want you to kind of break down, because I even posted up like yesterday on my page. I was like, yo, Gucci was explaining kind of like how him and his wife been through it.
Yeah.
And kind of like how, a lot of people want now Gucci with his wife and how he's a good man, but like he was on some bullshit at first, What led you to this point?
I think I just grow, age, you just start growing up. The 21-year-old Gucci that rap and the 25-year-old, two different people. You know what I'm saying? And definitely different from the 39-year-old Gucci. Yeah, I just grew up, just matured, started learning things, started adding them to my skill set. That's it. When you're young, you really don't have a lot of skills to deal with a lot of things. As I start getting older, I start, getting more skills, and they help me. You know what I'm saying?
When you work with younger artists, are they receptive to your advice when you're telling them about all the things you go through? Sometimes people have to learn for themselves, but...
It's like, I think it's the mission how I give it to them. You don't want to preach to them because people kind of like don't want to be preached to. You know what I'm saying? Or talk to. So I talk with them, but my whole thing, I try to like just show them through my actions and bring them so they come to me. So they see the benefit of, okay, damn, I see why Gucci don't do this, or I see why he's doing this, or I see the benefits of being married. Gucci, what you think about that? Then they come to me, as opposed to me saying, hey, I don't think you should do that. When I try to do that or pull somebody to the side and talk to them about it, it don't never really go good because they ain't in that space. But when they come to me for it, it seems like then I kind of like mentor them or shit like that.
When your last like time, like when you came home I think that's the time where everybody just saw like the biggest transformation.
It felt
right?
different.
Like,
Felt different than any other. It felt like before, like maybe you were learning something, but we didn't really see it. That last time, as Wayno was mentioning,
right,
and felt different.
And like with a lot of like the younger up and coming artists, like a lot of them grew up on your shit or whatever. Like, is it tough being like the leading example sometimes? Because they want to come to you for music advice and all of that, but I mean, you could look at a 21-year-old and see, damn, I was doing the same shit. Like, is it kind of tough to bear that sometimes?
I wouldn't say that it's tough, but it's like it's a responsibility that you should be conscious of, and I'm conscious of it and I'm aware of it, and it's not a burden, it's a challenge, and I embrace it. I think it's good. It's a good thing. That was my whole thing when I got out. I was like, people were saying like, you should go to schools and talk, you should go to jails and talk, because a lot of people was kind of hearing what I was on before I got released. But my whole thing was, I'm gonna get out first and I'm gonna show people, and then they're gonna go from there.
The change and really maturation that you've gone through, not only mentally but also spiritually, but even physically.
Yeah.
That happened after you got out. Like you mentioned today, you woke up at 5 o'clock, the first thing you did was hit the gym.
Yeah.
I mean, where did that come from? Like, why do you feel like that was important?
Act trying to get fit.
No. To me, I think it's a package of how he is,
right.
and I don't think you get this person if he wasn't putting all those things together.
It's kind of hard for me to articulate it in just such a short time, because it's something I'm so
passionate about. At first, we were trying to say you were a clone and all that.
To me,
you see that?
Yeah. To me, it's a lot of practical reasons. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say, for instance, I had a dinner yesterday to commemorate my album, Atlantic Throat, for me. Everybody came out.
Catch, right?
Yeah. So my whole thing is, I flew my trainer with me. I don't usually do that, but just so happened, I'm just flew him up here just to kind of celebrate with me, But I was telling him, man, I'm finna work out because everybody at the party probably drunk or hungover. So I got the advantage over everybody because nobody's thinking I'm finna get up early in the morning and work out. So that's my advantage, and I feel like it's just compounded interest. If I keep doing that and you keep just being satisfied with just doing the bare minimum, and I keep doing a little bit more than what you do, 2-3 years later, my career's gonna extend past yours. I'm just gonna fly past you. And to me, it's just a simple, practical thing. Every day, do a little bit more than what everybody else doing.
It's like habit stacking.
Yes, so habit stacking. So after 1 or 2 years, now I done dropped 101 albums, didn't even feel like it. It's like, oh, did y'all know we dropped 100 albums? No, because every time I drop an album, good or bad, whether y'all like it or people don't like it, I'm gonna go back to work.
Is there any series that you done with like, are we ever gonna get another Bird Print?
Bird Print was one of my favorite series ever. I don't think that I can get back in that mind frame to make that I don't want to mess that up, that legacy up like that.
That's my favorite series. But also Free Bricks, because like with Free Bricks, we got a chance. Like that was my first time really digging in the future, like listening to Free Bricks, and then like finding out about Young Scooter. So is like Free Bricks like gonna be another thing?
Free Bricks is a classic. I would definitely be open to do another Free Bricks though.
Who would it be with though?
That'd be a good one.
Right.
That'd be a good one. It had to be with I think Future.
We had this debate, but I feel like, even as much of fans we are of you, we're probably still amateurs at really discussing your catalog.
Yeah.
What's your top 5?
Top 5
projects?
Albums?
Yeah.
Trap House, the original.
Okay.
Chicken Talk, The State vs. Rachel Davis, probably my best album. Diary of Trap God, because it's like the darkest album ever. I'm scared. I don't even listen to that album. Out of 101 projects, that's like a horror flick to me.
You were in a different space when you recorded that?
Yeah. That song was like, I'll record verses in there, and I remember I would snap. Like I wrote this song called Decapitated, or freestyled it. And we did it in the Brick Factory during Diary of Trap God. I remember coming out, it was like one of the hardest verses I ever did, and Zay was like, it was dope, but it wasn't even like no high five. It was like, damn, it was dope, but it was scary.
Wow.
So, let's say, Diary of a Trap God, and let me see, what's the next one? Free Bricks with
Free
Future.
Bricks, yeah.
That was one of my favorite.
Hey, I also saw, this is something I see people talk about a lot with you, right? Like, you inspired so much of the newer artists that came out of Atlanta. Atlanta is like so buzzing right now. They always said, like, really, you could have signed up all them niggas. You get me?
Yeah, I did sign a lot of them.
So what happened?
I went to jail. I went to jail, and a lot of those artists wanted to go do something else. I couldn't help them from jail, and I let them do them because they was my friends. I never signed the artist. I never signed the artist and held that contract up when they came to me and say, hey, I want to go somewhere else. Whatever they, could work it out. Hey, they might say, I want to go to do a deal with Akademiks. I'd be like, I try to work it out the best I could, so it's fair. I always lose. It's not like I'm holding deals where like I need the most and then you get the less. It's like I take what I got and I try to keep the relationship. Because I done took a liking to him at that point. I done spent money, had blind faith in him. At that point, it's like, and I'm still making money on my own. I still got so it's like,
and then when you come home, everyone's so excited to see you. All the love and support that you got, all the collaborations, it seems like it was worth it not ruining any of those relationships.
It's like I paid it forward.
Yeah.
It's like I paid it forward.
What's your relationship with P from QC? He has a huge amount of respect for you, and even when it came to your wedding, like I seen like he showed out like he had a great appreciation for what you've done for him just in life.
P, I would describe him just as my best friend, besides music. And not far as like, I known him since we was children. It ain't even that. It's just like as far as keeping it real, being honest with me, telling me what I probably need to know instead of like what I want to hear. Direct opposite of a yes man. As far as me and his relationship, that's like my brother. Confiding in each other, keep it real.
I remember when you had got out, you sent out a tweet. You sent out 2 tweets. I remember seeing on Twitter. I think Thug responded to both of them. One, you were offering, you were like, yo, Gunna, wherever you at, I got $1 million for you.
Yeah.
Like, I want to know the mindset you were at when you did that, and also the one with Rich Homie Quan. You were trying to link Quan and Thug up to do another like Rich Gang the Tour tape.
I personally, I think Gunna's dope, and I wanted to sign Gunna, but I knew he was signing to Thug, and I had spoke to Thug about that. And we were talking about it. So maybe I was just jumped out there too much and he felt I disrespected him. So, he sent something back to me like, don't forget what I did for you when you got out. So I left it alone at that. I seen that kind of offended Thug, that's my partner. To me, I was trying to pay homage, showing, hey man, you got the dope artists I want to be a part of it. Who else you asked me about?
You were trying to get, you said you had $1 million to get Thug and Rich Homie Quan in the studio for another album.
Man, I think Rich Homie Quan and Thug dope, man. I always like Rich Homie Quan and I always like Thug. I feel like together they make great music, but they just like me, somebody saying me and one of my foes, y'all need to get back together and doing songs together if we done fell out. That's kind of disrespectful. So I guess I put, I didn't know how the situation played out. I was locked up, I should have stayed out of it. Yeah.
That's even humble coming from
now, sometimes I make mistakes, man. Sometimes I tweet stuff out. I be thinking that I'm paying homage because we got a linked history. Right. So sometimes I might say something whereas I feel like I'm showing love to, the artist and talking about our history. Like, man, I'm proud of you. You came up from this. To me, it's accomplishment. It's something to be proud of. To them, I'm shining. It's like the rules of the internet or you trying to put me down. And they'll tell me that. And I had to say, hey, man, my bad. I'm sorry. Because I didn't even intend that. So sometimes I feel like just don't put it out there. Even if you mean good, it still comes off wrong because people don't know. Like you said, people don't know your intent.
Yeah.
Can we touch on this, like, these lists, these Atlanta lists? Because it's like...
Who making these lists?
Yeah,
that's the point.
Yeah.
We're getting upset if we don't even know who made the list.
Right.
I feel like they doing these lists to just start stuff.
Yeah.
Were you upset at the list because of your placement or just overall?
Both.
I believe the list had you at
13.
See, even now, just the list shit, it's getting me mad.
Well, here's the thing, though. I think you're going to get, like, some random... I think it's probably a kid who made that list. You're going to get a random kid who makes a list that everyone's triggered by, so they're tweeting about it, so the list goes viral, so everyone has an opinion about it.
Yeah.
And the reason why that's the case is because we don't get the actual people like y'all to really kind of give us the list.
I don't think that. I think that I'm talking about the list where people are like talking about it, engaged in it. I ain't talking about that particular one list. That was just like an absurd list to me. But it's like, man, who keeps saying why? How everybody knows who's the GOAT, who's number one? Like who? I feel like don't nobody got what makes the person number one? What's the criteria?
That's the thing. There's never any criteria.
Never no criteria.
It's completely open.
It's all based on opinion.
Yeah.
You don't got to give us your list, but if you were going to make a list when it comes to Atlanta rappers, what would be your criteria? Because that is like, fuck a list. If the criteria isn't valid, the list won't be valid.
Right. Impact, influence, and just keeping it real. if you was an artist who blew up and as soon as you got your money, you went and sat in the house and didn't come outside and didn't help nobody and embrace nobody, you know, you closed doors, you didn't open them, you don't get on no list for me, man. You're a coward. There's no love. And that's what a lot of them did.
Well, outside of yourself, right, if you were picking just generally like your top 5 most impactful rappers to come out of Atlanta, we know you're already in there. Who else would you put in the top 5?
I don't even, it's bigger than Atlanta. I would say my top 5, Eazy-E, you know, because he brought in Ice Cube, Dr. Dre. It ain't that he was the best rapper. It's just what he stood on. He kind of like started. That's why the gangster rap, to me, I don't associate it with, I associate it with Dr. Dre, but I always associate it with NWA. It's Eazy-E. He the CEO. Birdman, Jay Prince, even though he don't rap, I feel like that's who should rap. I want to hear what Jay Prince got to say. He need to rap. Down with the artists, say the people who helping the artists, the people who paying these bills, the people who making sure these songs get played. Anybody can be creative. You think of something to say, but who gonna be responsible? There's a million artists that's creative, man. They dope as hell, but they won't even come on time. You know, damn sure can't handle no business. You give them some money, the money done. As soon as it touch their hand. So you off my criteria just based on that. You ain't even a man. You can't even handle no business. I want to see an artist like me grow up and be responsible. If you start at 21, you know, like a knucklehead, end as a boss, as a mogul. You know, if you start as a shooter, end as the boss of the family. Like, if you a monster, you're supposed to be the goal to end as the granddad with the child on your knee. Not to get knocked off and locked up. So that's what I salute, you know.
Do you see that path for someone like Young Thug? He had his issues in the industry when he first came out. Obviously, the music's great, 100%. But he seems like he's on his executive 100%. Grind.
Young Thug's smart as hell. If you just listen to him and just peep it out and just look, very smart.
What's the mindset? I mean, I've been to Atlanta a lot of times, but what's the mindset with the takeover? Like, you know, like, because everybody gets flack. You know, New York, we had it for a long time, but what's the mindset from, is it, yo, we gonna do this together, or is it like, oh, we just gonna rock with who we rock with and just make these hits? It's like, how does that come about?
To be honest, I think it's a lot of stuff that's backstory to why Atlanta popping, and I think it was a lot of backstory to why New York had this time. You know, I don't think we got enough time probably to talk about all why it is. But it, you know, the AUC, the script clubs in Atlanta, you know, all the drugs going to Atlanta, because you know we got all these expressways down here and all the cartels coming down there. All this has influenced Atlanta. You know, it influenced the trap culture. It has influenced the city, not even just rap-wise. So that's why when the rappers rap, they rap about different things, you know, and it's kind of like spreading worldwide because it's a fascinating topic. It's a fascinating city. I want to hear about, you know, like if Rio de Janeiro was like you know, a crazy city, everybody talking about this, that. You kind of want to hear about that. You know, like City of God. I'm trying to think what it was. You want to hear about.
That's a great movie, yeah.
Just think about. I want to hear the soundtrack of that, like what them guys going through, and I feel like that's what you see. You seeing City of God through Atlanta just off Instagram. You can see, damn, this what they be doing down there. Just regular life. Now you want to know what's the soundtrack of the streets from that. That's how I look at it. I don't kind of want to see the soundtrack of the, not dissing nobody, but like the skateboard community. Y'all skateboard, y'all entitled, y'all mama got money, y'all skating, and y'all making creative music, but that's not for me. I want to hear about the dudes who went through what I went through. That's who I salute. Anything else to me, garbage. So that's kind of like the GOAT category. I don't even want to hear it, because it's like, to me, you're not a factor. You just making words together.
Gucci, is it paying homage or is it disrespectful when you see new artists? Even be like, yo, he remind me of Gucci, man, or yo, this isn't like the new Gucci. Like, you know, I've seen they compare a couple of artists, like maybe like just either their actions or maybe their music or just like their perspective on things. They compare them to you, and like the only other person who I see gets comparison, and God rest the dead, is Pac. Like, you know, like everybody wants to be the new Pac, but also we hear a lot of people saying, yo, this reminds us of Gucci or whatever. Do you feel it's disrespectful or paying homage?
I feel like it's paying homage, but sometimes you kind of get frustrated. You know, imitation is flattery, but then it get to a point like, damn, y'all gonna just bite all my shit? Then y'all calling me a clone, but y'all bite everything that I do? You know, it's crazy. Even with the putting out the music all the time, like, I 100% feel like I'm the reason why people consume music the way that they do. Because I done put out 101 albums, and every time I got backlash from the label, it was never, let's do it. It's always like, damn, why you can't want to keep dropping albums? Can you hold up? Can you do it then? Can you do it? So it went from that to, oh, that's the new platform, which when you get out, do you know you can change it? I'm like, for real? So when I got out, I'm like, I'm gonna take advantage of it. I felt like that's what because people don't know that the songs are the assets. The more music you got, the more leverage you got, you know, but people weren't seeing it like that. You know, the more control they got, they tell you, you're gonna drop one time a year and you gotta coordinate with us. But it's a different thing if I go rogue and say, I'm gonna drop 12 times a year. So how much experience and how much knowledge I'm gonna get if I keep rolling my album out 12 times? If I keep going to the radio station 12 times, how much networking I'm gonna do? Now I'm getting stuff in my toolbox. Like I said, now I'm like, damn, I'm getting relationships, I'm understanding that I'm handling business.
Did you always think like that when you were putting out music?
From
like
the first
2005?
From 2001 when I first got out of jail and said I'm gonna be a rapper. And I put my last, I had got locked up, had like 6 bands left. I hadn't never rapped. I wrote my raps in jail. I knew Zay. I got out, I recorded my first 12 songs. Dude charged me $500 a piece. So there was like 6 bands. I pressed my first 12 songs up and sold them for $1,000. So made $10,000 off of that, and then took it to the bootlegger and blew up. So that been my first time, every time I record, I paid for it.
You took it to the
First songs.
You took it to the
My
bootlegger
first song I ever made was Lawnmower Man. They ended up on Trap House. I made that myself and put it on my Big Cat album after I robbed the dude and rapped about it. I had a lick. Listen, that's the lyric. If you go back to I had a lick for about 50 stacks. Niggas keep on talking about Gucci, bring the money back. Half a brick and I'm bunking that. I'm in the trap where the jank is at. I'm getting fat, fuck a jumping jack. Man, that shit was so hard back then because it was true.
Yeah.
You've come a long way, collaborating
Right.
with Bruno Mars. Like hearing you on a record with Bruno, it blew my mind. It's a great record, but it's like stunning considering like your history.
Yeah, it is. And I was a big fan of Bruno. And I asked I kind of went to the label I want to collaborate with Bruno.
Oh, it was your idea?
Yeah, I like Bruno, he hard. I like Bruno, he's hard. So I wrote Wake Up in the Sky, sent it to him. He did his own version to it and sent it back and it was like a whole different song. I kind of wrote Wake Up in the Sky with me singing, you know? But it wasn't the same lyrics where he rewrote it and all, but I kind of thought that damn, this would be dope if Bruno could do this song that I wrote, just like So Icy. And when I texted to him, man, he was like no industry, man, this song dope, it's fire. I want to get on it. People in the industry don't usually do that. They don't really tell you man, this idea is fire. They don't kind of be straight open, which is almost kind of you got to be kind of cool or whatever. Bruno, man, it's fire. That's why I like Bruno, man. He's so he's nothing like you would think he would be, man. No industry. One of the realest people I've met in the game.
How about the Solange joint? Like the Solange joint. And even when I seen the Solange, it caught me left field. Yeah. But is there any other artists that Gucci listened to that we wouldn't think Gucci listened to?
Who would I listen to that you probably don't think that?
Or you gonna pop up with a feature one day with, or would, out of nowhere?
You and your R&B bag?
I'm trying to think, what R&B stuff do I listen to when I do listen to R&B?
Or shit like Sam Smith or something. Imagine Gucci and Sam Smith.
You should do a Billie Eilish collab, that would be dope.
Billie Eilish, I think she dope. Yeah, I would love to work with her. I like Post Malone, I think he's dope.
Yeah.
I can see that though. I can see that.
As far as that I wouldn't think that I kind of like all music. It's not really no artist that I don't embrace, to be honest. I'm the kind of person I go I listen to the playlist. I want to hear everything, what's out, you know.
Speaking of that, you are, listen, you are OG, but you're not one of the OGs who just separate yourself in the OG category who hating on the new cat. Yeah. I seen you with Perp and Pump, you know. I seen you, I was like, yo, we gonna call the Gucci gang. And then, I'm confused by the groups you're in. Because you're in the Glacier Boys.
Yes.
Gucci gang.
Yes.
And it seemed like you got a bunch more stuff going.
Eskimos.
Exactly.
Yes.
Are those things just thinking on the fly, or are you trying to put out music for real, for real?
I'm going to come out with a 1017 Eskimo compilation. 100% me, Mal, Pablo, Asian the Dog, Z Money. I'm going, we got the songs in the bag for the Glacier Boys, but it's so many people on it, and it's so many different people. It's everybody got input about what songs they think are the best. So that's an ongoing thing, but it's not a bad thing. What else you asking me about? The Gucci Gang. Yeah. Gucci Gang, we got songs. I tried to put one of the songs on the new album that we got, me, Perp, and Pump. But then Pump and Perp was like, nah, we keeping this for Gucci Gang album. Yeah. So that's still going, cause I'm like, man, this song hard. We need to go and put this on, on my album. Show with the gang, we never dropped that song together. They like, no, this right here is too hard. So
I think people were shocked that you embraced them. Like, because, like, you know, they're really new artists, different style from what the game is seeing, and, like, to see a real nigga like you to just be like, yo, these my partners right here. Like it was
I don't
shocking.
like to judge. I don't like to judge people, man. Like, judge artists or be like, you know, you shouldn't like this person, you shouldn't like this one, or who's to say who cool, who lame, who street, who real. It's like everybody gets should get a chance to do music. Like me, I embrace snap rap, stankin' leg, all the stuff that used to go back on in Atlanta, cause you know Atlanta got all these dance movements kind of like that, you know. Yeah. So I would go to the club and it was always, I always see people doing the bankhead bounce and little dancing. Not comparing Pump them to them. Yeah. I'm just saying I kind of, in my city, we open to, the gangsters over here, there's some dudes over there dancing over here in a circle. You know what I'm saying? But you don't look at them as lame, it's not me or different. It's just like, that's what they doing. You can either like it, you know, you kind of got to take a liking to it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I kind of like Pump and Perp. To me, it's entertaining.
Right. Yeah. What's crazy is like in Atlanta, sometimes you don't know who's who, because when I first seen, what was it, Laffy Taffy, I ain't know Shorty Low was out there like that.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly. Like that's it. That's the perfect thing. You'd think that Laffy Taffy is some play, but these dudes like Shawty Low, he a street dude. You know what I'm saying? And they out from Bankhead, and this shit was funny, and this shit was clever, and you'll sit there. You can't say it wasn't jamming. Who don't like that video? Who don't like to see them perform? They're great performers. So it's like some people you can't be stuck on, oh no, I'm not gonna sign them because, you know, they're not street. Man, I wish I could have signed Pump and Perp. You know, that's and then it's like at the same time I run a record label. So I'm open, you know. If you just play the piano and sing and dance, man, I'm gonna be the first in line trying to sign you if you talented, you know.
Is now like a time like when, I feel like before you used to just like take people under your wing and not, like maybe you sign a few of them, but you ain't sign everybody. But now do you understand your influence and also the time we're in, where if you picture the studio with someone or you tweet out somebody's music who ain't on or signed, somebody else gonna snatch them up already. Are you a little bit more conscious of who you show love to before, if you really fuck with them, before at least trying to get them in the situation?
Yeah, that's true. I try to be like more cautious. To me, it's not all about who I sign. Now it's kind of like who I don't sign as well. That's just as important. Who you don't get yourself entangled with. You know, you might sign a person and they might go do a bunch of stupid shit, and now that put, you know, pressure on your label because you behind them, you partner with them. So it's almost like who you getting in bed, who you getting in partnership with. Think about that before you sign them. That's my new thing.
Are there any female rappers that you would be interested in signing or focusing on?
I'm looking at some female. It's a lot of dope female.
Adore, right?
I got Asian Adore. It's a lot of dope female artists out, from Cardi to Megan Thee Stallion. Like you said, Asian Adore, Doja Cat, like Billie Eilish. Yeah.
You up on Doja Cat?
She sent me a song.
Really?
Said she wanted to do a feature with me. Like, and I listened to it. It was hard. Like yesterday. So that what made me. That's why she. You know, I just thought about that, and I looked at her video after that. I'm like, let me check her out. She dope.
She is.
She must have it together. Them Gucci features expensive, B.
You gotta bring your checkbook, but that ain't no bad thing.
Right.
Yeah, how much you tax that YouTuber for? I always wondered, because people were wondering when they saw you did one with Jake Paul.
Oh yeah, cross the head. Bye. Come here.
Oh, man.
Wow, man.
Yeah.
When you do a
and I
collab-
made her bring it in the armor truck just on the screen. You wanna do a song with me? Bring the money in the armor truck.
If they reach out to you to collaborate, are you then obligated to promote the record every time?
Hell no. Hell no. I promote if I like it. I ain't obligated to do nothing. Nobody. Sometimes people get mad you don't post their album. Man, you don't gotta post nobody's shit you don't want to, man. Post what you want, man. It's your page.
Gucci, so with this new album, right? You know me, I'm a numbers guy.
Yeah.
So like when people come out, I like to see how they doing, how the people feeling them.
Yeah.
You a legend, you exempt from all of that. But of course, you still a businessman.
Yeah.
Do you ever care about like first week sales? Every time I know you drop, you about to do about 70 first week.
I never did 100,000 units ever in 101 albums, so I do care about sales, but I'm realistic of my, like you said, I just like to stay, I don't want to be delusional. You know, I know that I only got so much time, so much energy, and there's only so much I can do. So I have no problem with approaching it as put out your best thing, and you know, if they like it or love it, you know, get back in the studio and keep working, keep performing, you know, keep looking good, keep being interesting, keep being fascinating. People gonna stay tuned in.
Gucci, what can we expect from this album? Because I know we haven't seen the track list yet, so is there any features you can talk about? Or do we just go get surprised at 12 o'clock?
I tell you, it's like a mixtape.
Okay.
This is like a mixtape because you know how people like, what's this album different? What you getting out here like some kind of introspective thing? These are the, you know, most current 13 songs that I recorded. So this is the time capsule of 2019 Gucci right now. That's why I be so happy about dropping the album, because it's not 2 years of recording and a bunch of mixing and mastering and a team of people putting stuff together and this is what you get, which is what most people would consider a classic. That's not what I consider a classic. To me, it's like the 13 songs in the last couple of months. It's a time capsule of what's going on with me and how I'm feeling. So that's what you get.
Gotcha.
I really want to kind of wrap up with asking you about, you know, I know we touched on your transformation already, but like what your wife means to you. Like, you know, I'm not big on marriage personally.
Yeah.
But like when I see how, you know, your wife helped you become a better man, it actually makes me think twice to be like, I'm serious. I'm serious. I've never seen where, you know, a strong woman has really helped, and y'all can't name me no other cases like that. Now where somebody was down and out, a lot of times they were down on their last, and then for the most part, they credit a lot of the pulling up to the woman they're with.
Yeah, I credit it to my wife. I love her. She's the love of my life. Best thing ever happened to me. Inspiration. Forced me to be responsible. You know, if you get married, you shouldn't get married, and it shouldn't be nothing until you could, you know, hold yourself accountable, you know, and be mature about it. If you can't do that, marriage shouldn't be for you. But if you can do that, then, you know, it's a blessed thing.
With that being said, Akademiks is never getting married.
Hey, listen,
He needs
man.
a good woman in his
Yeah,
life.
he needs
Hey,
a good
listen,
woman
man.
in his life.
If
You
I
got it,
find
you
a
got-
woman that could help me as much as Gucci woman has helped him,
But you gotta help her too. See, it ain't, you know, it's tit for tat. You gotta help her too. You gotta be somebody. Ain't nobody gonna help nobody who ain't got nothing going. You gotta be about something, man. Somebody be about something. They wanna be a part. Everybody wanna stand by somebody who doing something. Who show up about their business. If you about your business, man, there's gonna be a line of people, a line of women can't wait to say, hey, Akademiks, what's going on? But if you ain't about your business, hell nah, they don't wanna marry your ass anyway.
do you suffer, at least these days, you know, like, I think you've admitted in the past that, you know, you used to have some addiction problems. Like, you used to be taking certain drugs or whatever.
100%.
Now, you know, it seems you're living a very clean life.
Yeah.
Do you go through issues of, you know, kind of trying to keep yourself out of situations where you're not tempted or whatever? Like, how do you deal with that?
Now, to be honest, my whole life has changed. It ain't even no, that's why I say, like, people say you don't want no cap in your rap. You can't get the old Gucci. The old Gucci did those things. This is who I am now. So everything I'm doing is like I'm being so honest and upfront with it that it's like it got to be something to it. We need to see this is different. This is like you got to grow. My whole life has changed. Like, I work out every day. I go to sleep a lot earlier. I don't be with a lot of the same people, so they don't even put me in situations. I don't live that lifestyle. I don't even see the value of being around people who want to, you know, do drugs all the time. It's like, you ain't gonna go to work. That's like, cause I'm 39 now, it's like, damn, after you do all the smoking and drinking, is you gonna wake up and go to work and handle your business and make some money? If you ain't doing that, then it's like, man, it wouldn't take me 2 seconds to see the end type person I wanna be around. I don't wanna be around nobody just wanna be around, man. I'm too old to hang out.
I respect it.
Yeah.
I respect it, man.
Gucci, thank you, man, for real.
Akademiks is looking for his life change. That's why he has all these deep questions.
Nah, man, when I see him walking in Milan and he looks so...
I'm finna give you some game. And this
Please.
shit, and I'm dead serious. Go get this book called As a Man Thinketh and just read it repeatedly. Just read it over and over, and it just talk about your thoughts and about what you think about. As a man thinking, like, a man is like a value of what he think. So if that's what you're thinking about, then, you know, you'll start like acting on those things. And I'm telling you, the interest will start to compound.
Last thing, and I know, I'm so sorry. I can't.
He had stuff to do, brother.
I know. Finally, Gucci embraced you, like the brand.
Yes.
And we see you did, I don't know if it's a collaboration or just in the commercial or whatever, but like, to me, I thought that was a huge move because we see so many of these brands who don't fuck with the people who actually be like really getting culture behind it.
Yeah.
But they finally embraced you. What'd you feel about that and how that happened?
I feel like it took a minute, but I'm glad that it happened. You know what I'm saying? I felt like they picked the right person. You know, because once I get my foot in the door, you just watch me and just see what I do. I'm not everybody else. You know, I'm glad that they were smart enough to see, hey man, this guy right here, he's exceptional.
Congratulations, that's big. Sorry, I think we're out of questions.
No, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I just had to get that one in because I love watching them at the banner of the Gucci, actual Gucci's website.
Yo, thank you for coming up.
Man,
We
thank y'all for
appreciate
having me.
you.
Seriously.
Woptober 2 is out soon. Go check that out. Shout out to Gucci Man. We'll see you guys next week on Everyday Struggle.